Okay, good morning, YouTube. So, this is a quick update for the theater room. Uh, Theater room update 2026. And the theme of this update for this year is less is more. So, it's not a lot. There actually has been a lot changed in this room, but it seems to be less. And that is kind of the biggest theme is that there's a lot less in the room. So, as you know, or as you may know, I've my daughter's moved out and her room's now become an office. So a lot of the things that used to be extra in here have now been moved. So the biggest thing is that space, a lot more space in the room. And we went from 6 subwoofers down to 4. So the biggest thing right off the bat was these PB2000s that used to be in the corner, also with the micros on top. The micros been removed, and now the PBs have been moving up near field to right behind the seating position. So, and they're opposed to each other now, facing each other, and it cleans up the room. So from the front point, you don't even see them; they're there and they're active. One other change is now I have this DC3 diffuser. Bought it at Audio Advice. Um, a bit pricey for something another, but as soon as I put it in and I got it both glued and screwed into the ceiling, made such a difference to the clarity of dialogue. Right away, I noticed it. So I've always wanted to put in the ceiling. A lot of people I see put them in the back of the room to diffuse the long standing waves for bass. But I found that right here, right over the main listening position, cleans up the vocals so much. It's highly noticeable. Another thing in the ceiling that's changed. I used to only have 2 diffusers, and I got these off of Etsy. A guy in the Ukraine who actually makes these. It's a pretty simple thing. Suspended cable, about 2 inches of foam, and a very thin wood veneer with a dot matrix pattern on it for diffusion. I had 2. I ordered 2 more. Had the hardest time really trying to line them. They're still not perfectly aligned, but it's much better than it was. I gave up. It's good at first glance, but made such a difference on that first and third reflection off the ceiling. You'll see here on my channel page where the grills are taken off. On the front subs here, left and right, and the front left and right there, we still have the RC 64 clips as the center, which is just a great center. And then one major difference here is I did have a console here. That console is now in the office. Again, a lot of things that were here have been moved into the office. So that was removed, and I wanted to have this open. And what I did was I actually got a 12U rack. Now the idea in the beginning was to mount it on the wall, but now that one other thing that I have is, let me turn this light on. It won't make much difference. But one of the things I also bought was a new differential reference 3-channel amplifier from Emotiva, their top differential reference amplifier. So that is handling the LCR. Great system, but it's super heavy. Trying to mount that on the wall would be ridiculous. I'll be afraid all the time. So that plus the 5175A, which is the discontinued amplifier from Emotiva, both of those are handling. The one is the LCR. The second is handling the bed layer for left and right, side left and right, and rear left and right. Those 4. And the receiver remains the same, which is the Cinema C50 and Cinema 50, which is still handling the height speakers. So the LCR, the 4 channels for the bed layer, and the receiver AVR is handling the 4 heights. At some point, my wife and I went to see Devil Wears Prada 2. And amazingly, the sound in that movie was really, really quite good. It got me thinking, man, I think I need a new receiver. Not a receiver, I want a processor. So at some point in the future, I'd like to upgrade my C50 to a processor. I've been looking at the JBL Synthesis, something that can give me 6 high speakers or additional 2 high speakers, which I would like to put right above the left and the right facing in. And I have a pair of SPS elevations downstairs in my wife's office, which she doesn't really use, which would fit in perfectly right there. But the 12U rack is here, and I kind of got a black tile and just kind of hide it. These speaker stands are new. Got those off of a guy on Etsy, I believe, also either Etsy or I can't think of the name of that other sales space. But anyway, they're handmade. It's about $175, and they work perfectly. They give you just enough slant. It's right at the listening position, quite good. Now the problem too, I have my PS5 Pro on the rack at top, but it started getting hot and it had heating issues. So I actually just set it right on top of the center here and put a fan behind it if I needed to keep it cool. And there's one one absorber back there to kind of like block some of the cords. Another additional new thing is got these Govee lamps. That left and right one here, and just gives some ambience. Also with the backlight on the back of the TV. Let me just kind of tilt it, and you'll see they don't seem to be on though for some reason. Okay, I don't know why they're not on. Maybe there's something unplugged. But anyway, so the mount, the Govee lights, left and right lamps, and an absorber there just to kind of like block. That's an old trick I got from Andrew Robinson to try to hide some of the cords. And so all of that is new. The PS5 Pro is new. Had a PS4 that's still in my bedroom, but this is for public consumption up in the lounge. So that's new. The last new thing in this room that I actually did was over the weekend. We had a Arts in the Park, and I purchased this nice piece of artwork. The artist's name is Andrew Nichols. That's his card there. He's in Jamaica, New York, and traveled down south to sell some of his wares. And I saw this one. I was like, I've got to have it. It was a really good price, nice. So light's not perfect in here, but that's it. That's the newest thing in the room, actually. And let's see. Really, I think that's really. Oh, now the lights are coming on for whatever reason. Okay, so that's really about it. That's the room. It's less is more is the theme. And let me tilt this just one more time. So now that the lights are on, the light strips here, and the light here, and one there, and that helps to, produce some ambiance when the movies and the sound activated, and that should match the colors on the screen. So that works out pretty well. All right, that's it. 2026, a new beginning. All right, and that's the room. Less is more. All right, guys, thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Ciao.